Hi, everyone. I'm Lisa Rubin, and I'm an associate professor in special education, counseling, and student affairs, here to talk about teaching. So I teach mostly graduate students in our department in several programs, a master's in college student development and a master's in academic advising, as well as doctoral programs in student affairs and higher education and leadership and academic advising. So the majority of my classes are geared towards that level. And I get to talk about sports a lot, which is really fun because I teach about college athletics as part of higher education. So one thing that I've done over the years in asynchronous courses is really engage on discussion boards. I think we all do that anyway, but something that students tell me is they really appreciate that I'm engaged in all the discussions throughout the week. I check numerous times, I'm adding information, making sure incorrect things have some stories behind why they are actually not the way maybe a student described them. One thing I really love about my classes is there's some students who really like the topic, really are familiar with, say, college sports, or they were an athlete. And then there's a lot of people who don't have any interest in sports at all. And I think that fresh take on some of the readings and the topics really bring out some really amazing conversations. I'm going to just show a few examples by sharing my screen of some of the assignments I've been doing in classes that I think are really fun. Some of my goals when I do that are to make sure that students have a really great experience applying knowledge to practice. That could be theory to practice, something that can help them in their job search or their next job, or just some way to apply the knowledge to something that they can do tangibly. So this example is the College Athletics Financial Information Database, a joint venture from the Knight Commission on Intercollegiate Athletics and USA Today. And I have students come in here and they make a custom report. They get to learn how to crunch some numbers. They look for trends in different variables. They get to pick their institution. So for example, I'll type in Kansas State and we will select us, and then they can go in here and look all about Kansas State, where money goes and where money comes from, all the variables for those. There's graphs, there's tables, there's Excel spreadsheets. They can go in and do numerous years, adjust for inflation, and play around with this database. And so I have students choose 3 or more institutions, 4 or more variables, and at least 3-year span. And then they go in and tell me why they pick these things and look for trends, and then use literature, scholarly and popular, to apply what they learned in class to this project. So it's really fun, and it always gets people who are afraid of data and numbers really engaged and interested. So that's really cool. Another one, in my doctoral higher education administration class this spring, we did a governance and action paper. So I will just zoom in so you can see the information. I had students attend a governance meeting. It could be for K-State. I provided all the information for students to attend a faculty senate meeting, a student governing association meeting, KBOR, a government relations legislative review meetings every Friday, or the president and provost town halls. And they also could choose something at their own institution, because most of our distance students in this doctoral program, or most of them are distance students. And then they could write about their experience. What did they learn? How did it relate to what we have been reading and discussing? And just general impressions of what it was like to get involved in the governance process. So that was a really fascinating paper. And then one of my favorites, of course, is an interview paper. I think a lot of us do these kinds of things, but an athletic advisor interview that I do in my college student athletes class. So students have to interview somebody who's actually doing the work in the field that we're studying. And I give them a lot of help. So I provide them contacts based on their interest. If they want to work with students who have learning disabilities, or they want to help guide students through career development, I connect them with a professional in their preferred region or conference. And then I provide lots of guiding questions they can ask, but they can make their own. And this is something really fun as well. Another assignment I really like that I don't have prepared to show at this very moment is a professional development set of activities for our practicum class. So these are students who want to work with college students, and they are all interning somewhere at K-State or in another college campus nearby. And we do professional development activities so they can get ready for the job search. And those kinds of things include conducting informational interviews, or working on a resume and cover letter, maybe researching doctoral programs, looking at job descriptions so they know what kinds of things they need to work on before they apply for certain positions. and stuff like that. And we teach this course twice. So the students take it twice, and in each class they have to take or do 2 different professional development activities, meaning that they have 4 different things to take away with them, and we have them put it in a portfolio so they can use that in a job interview. I think teaching is so much fun. It can be very creative. I just want to make sure that it's also practical and students can take the knowledge they learn and use it in the future. So my name again is Lisa Rubin, and I love to teach at K-State.